Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to EC Radio. You can follow along on all Disruption Network social media platforms, and it's wrapped up into a nice little podcast that you can listen to at your leisure, at your discretion, at disruptionnetwork.net. You can find us on Spotify, Twitcher, Stitcher. We can find us also on Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, all the freaking podcast platforms. You know where they are. You could find us pretty much anywhere. As we're live on Facebook, we're live on Twitch, and we're live on YouTube. Shout out to my sponsors. If not for the sponsors, this podcast is not possible. Thank you to EJA Moving Services, the professional movers. When you're ready to move and relocate, hit up Eddie and his staff at 315-335-0516, EJAmoving.com. There's no task they can't handle. They can pretty much move anything, anywhere, anytime. They'll move your grandmother to a nursing home. They'll move your college student into their dorm room. They'll even move a stuffed elephant. They'll move anything. Call them today, 315-335-0516. Shout out to United Auto Sales, 4994 Commercial Drive in Yorkville, UnitedUsedCars.com. Stop into their showroom and see why it's easy to do business with United. Thank you to Joey's at 307. It's 307 Mohawk Street. They're open for lunch now. Go check out them for lunch. Check them out for dinner. They got a revolving dinner menu, and they also are serving alcohol. So give them a call today. Set up a reservation at 315-864-3527. Thank you to Utica Coffee. Thank you to Saranac. Thank you to my attorney, Dave Longaretta. If you need legal advice, give him a call today. He's been keeping me out of trouble since the early 90s. He could keep you out of trouble, too. It's 315-735-6162. Shout out to Ballsy, ballwash.com. Use promo code members only. Get yourself a 15% discount. Billy the Liquor Guy can use some ball wash, I'm sure, and some nut rub. Yeah. I think you can, Billy.
All right, thanks, buddy.
I'm telling you, nut rub changed my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know. Is it what I think it is?
It's exactly what you think it is.
Okay.
It's hygiene for your groin area.
Oh.
And I think if you want your groin area to smell a little bit better, go to ballwash.com. Use promo code members only. Get yourself a 15% discount.
I'll look into that.
I'm sure you can use some ball wash, sack spray, or nut rub. Any of those will work anytime for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought this was a family show.
This is no family show. I got you on the show. How's this a family show? And speaking of sponsors, Billy the Liquor Guy, also a sponsor. He's got a new book out there called Under Too Long. You can find it on Amazon or wherever you get your books. And he's joining me today, as well as another character from your book. And Billy, if you would be so kind, introduce our guest today, please.
This is the director of my agency, Mr. Stanton, Tom Stanton. Kept me out of a lot of trouble many, many a times. He tried to keep me under wraps, but I think he once referred to me as his favorite perp. And best thing in my life was that I met him because he did a lot of good. He thought I'd be doing good at undercover school, so he decided after looking at my resume, which was not good at all, but I was. He thought I was made for undercover because I was a bullshit artist and I didn't follow directions well. So, Mr. Stanton, we're able to get him. He's on the mountaintop of Pennsylvania, way up there. And I won't give the location because I heard that's where some money might be buried.
He's sitting on the 1.3?
One. Nah, he don't need it. He's a very wealthy man.
Mr. Stanton, thank you so much for joining us. I have to know right off the bat, how did Billy get on your radar, and what made you hire him?
Well, I inherited him. He was there from before I got there. I got there after 9/11. But the first thing I asked to Billy, what are you most proud of? And Billy says that I didn't kill my present boss. When I got there, the people who were there, Billy's boss, they were pretty conservative. They were afraid to do much.
Yeah.
And I'd be afraid, too, if I didn't know Billy, how to handle him.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to do anything. They like to... I went interviewing them, and they said they wanted new desks. And I said, how about cars? So you can get out and do something.
Yeah.
A whole different thing. And Billy was just an action. I call him an action figure. Get out there and do things.
It's more like the Energizer Bunny. Wind them up and watch them go.
In civil service, creativity is a felony. In Bill's case, I let him go free.
Yeah. He did.
He's a creative guy. He's got a great personality, great bullshit artist, and he can read people.
Oh yeah. You remember the first thing you asked me?
Yeah, go ahead.
When we were down in Virginia, first you asked me, "What's the problem with your?" I'll call him Booth in the book, And I was being general. I said, well, he's my boss and he's this, but, we don't see eye to eye. And then you asked me, no, what do you really think about him? I said, he's a fucking asshole. That's a ballless fuck. And you said, that's all I needed to know. And the marriage was born between us.
Well, the agency became a little more active with letting Billy loose.
Yeah.
Did he have a long leash on you?
No.
No, it was a short one?
No, he said, just let me. He always had a rule. If I really fucked up, I called him.
Uh-huh.
And he said, I remember once I was involved in an accident off duty with a vehicle. And he goes, 2 questions. He goes, were you drinking? I go, no, sir. And he goes, were you alone? I go, yes, sir. He goes, no problem. And they actually, Internal Affairs came after me, but they actually wanted him because Tom was a rebel too. Great. I mean, he was getting a lot of stuff done, but a lot of people wanted to jump on the bandwagon on him, and he just said, "We don't need you. They're all nerds, turds, politicians. Go, boss."
Well, the thing that our agency, we're law enforcement. Our group is law enforcement, but the agency, tax and finance, is really audit centric. It's the civil things. For them, or giving a subpoena is a problem. We were arresting search warrants, undercover, churning money. And they couldn't handle that. They couldn't understand what we were doing. And we would settle cases in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. And they had a hard time handling that because it made audit look bad. The auditors would do an audit of a location and they come up with, say, $60,000. We would do a search warrant on the same place in the same audit period, and we'd come up with $1 million. Yeah. And it made them look bad.
All the time. And
the only plus we had in law enforcement, we could go to court, we could go to the press because the cases were in open court. An auditor can do a $2 million, $20 million case, and there's no press on that because of tax secrecy. So our plus was we could give the commissioner, deputy commissioner, I call it podium time. They could be on the radio, the TV, and saying they did some magnificent thing, and there's something audit could not do. So our plus was listen, we'll get you on TV, we'll get you on the radio, and that gave us a little bit of a plus in doing the things we were doing.
Bill, you didn't do any press though back then, did you? Because you were undercover.
That is true, but Tom always gave me credit. I mean, actually, I had some asshole bosses wouldn't even let me show. I just wanted to be there in the background to see, some of the guys get on the podium, like with the Attorney General. And whatever. Before I forget, some people, I've been doing some book signings, and people keep asking me who the general is. I apologize. It was the Attorney General at the time, who was Mr. Cuomo, Andrew Cuomo, who then he became our governor. But that's on that. But Tom was always good to me, and he made sure he told me that, this is all done because of you. Because I had some bosses who were super jealous. I eventually started just reporting to Tom directly because there was issues in between. I was just a senior investigator. He was the director. And even his assistant director got a little mad at me. Remember him always pulling his hair? Remember Paul Rossi? What, I know the hair. But anyways, no, I never got on. I'm doing it now. I guess maybe I was jealous or I just, no, never saw no TV.
We got your other buddy on. Oh, wait, let's see.
He's trying to get on?
Oh, wait, he's trying to get on.
No, he's ignorant.
He actually froze up.
He's stupid. I can't stand him.
Oh, there he is. Hang on. Let's see.
Greatest undercover in the history of New York State right there. The greatest. What is going on, my friend? Disruption Network. How y'all doing?
I think we lost you.
There we go. I got you now.
No audio.
See Billy's lips moving. I can't hear him.
Oh,
how about now?
We can hear him.
I got him now. I got you. Yeah, I got you now.
Sorry, I clicked the wrong
I
button.
can hear you also.
No problem. No problem.
Hey, can you see Tom?
Did you hear how I addressed you, Mr. Bill, the liquor guy?
No, I didn't, buddy.
I said the greatest undercover New York State has ever seen.
You or me? No, it was no, it's both of us, buddy. We did a good job. We had a good boss. I'm not stroking because I don't have to because I'm retired.
No, that's why I could be there. I apologize. I'm still working.
Oh, listen. They made you a firearms instructor?
Yes. That's what I was doing today. I was teaching the youth of this state how to shoot.
Okay. All right, buddy. I'll let our moderator get us all involved, okay? But I thank you for that compliment.
Okay, I want to back up really quick. Billy, have you ever played wingman to Cuomo at any of his cocktail parties?
Well, there's a funny story that the other one before, not Pataki. Who's the one got in trouble?
Elliot Spitzer.
Elliot Spitzer.
Yeah.
I was working a detail with some troopers, and I've been called the social director because of my bullshit things, and they said, well, Billy. I said, what a stupid motherfucker. I said, all you had to do was go in the dark room, never say a word, and do what you got to do. You know, I don't know whether it's like that idiot Jesse Smollett who signed a check to lie about something. Like, I have a little bit of criminal history in my family, so I've always been known how to deal with stuff. But no, to answer your question, no. Mr. Cuomo and I had a totally professional relationship. He was impressed. He liked getting the money that we produce, right, Tom?
Always for the money.
Always for the money.
That was a big surprise. That's hilarious. But now let's go over to Al Babo for a second. What was your role with Billy, the liquor guy? You guys were partners, is that correct?
Yeah, so we were partners in some of these out-of-state operations we did, and basically I was kind of his secondary. I was just making sure that nothing crazy happened, nothing hinky went on, nothing that the bad guys were trying to pull. So I was kind of more or less like a little bit of a bodyguard for Billy.
And I thank you for that. You saved my life. But I'm tired of saying that. But
I did not realize that I'll call him Tom is on the call as well, sir. It's been a long time, but nice to see you.
You're aging gracefully, Rob.
Oh.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Mr. Stanton, was there an incident that you really wanted to choke these two? Give me an example of the time that you really wanted to, like, what the hell? Why did I hire these guys?
You mean what years?
Just give me a story on a time that you wanted to choke these two.
No, it was just a constant thing. We had pretty much the entire period of time I was there, we had undercover operations going. And it was, your mind was always on who was doing what, when. We were actually running a business, trying to catch bad guys, ripping off bad guys, and dealing with the bureaucrats up in Albany all the time. It was just incredible. The amount of money that these guys were carrying, that kind of worried me a little bit. The first operation I did in Virginia, we went to Walmart and bought one of those safes to put in the trunk of a car to transport the cash. We had to buy 2 safes. Then it was so much money, we couldn't handle that. We used Dahlgren Naval Base. I think the Naval, NCIS, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we brought the money over to the naval base to secure the money. And we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right. And each day.
And then a 3-car convoy coming up with them. So they were always on their toes. You never know who was going to turn on us. On a daily basis, we'd have 5, 6 bad guys coming in, some carrying guns, some selling us guns. Every day was hectic. So whatever little mischief they got into, like being driven out of, where was it, Virginia Beach?
Yeah.
So somebody came on to the local police department chief's
yeah.
daughter or something?
Yeah, someone was doing something. I have no knowledge of that, just what I heard. But the boss, the convoys, were they meant for the bad guys or for me? Because I transported the money once, the $368,000. I never got to transport it again. I was kind of upset about that, you know. But
You made a couple of turns to the east and the west. You were supposed to go just north.
That's it. And I went a little south, and that poor bastard, Brahim, when I told him, when I pulled out the 95, and the first time I had $368,000, and I pulled on the 95, and we're going up to the city, and he goes, I go, which way, Brian? Miami or the city? Billy, don't do that shit. Don't do that shit. I can't take it. I can't take it. Now, if I had Obama with me, that would have been a short career. we would have blew the
We're in South Beach right now.
I know. Well, hey, since are you back on the other side of you play for the right team now? Because in South Beach, you would have had a good time.
That's why I wish I was in that car with you.
I know, buddy. We had a lot of good times, but boss,
There was so much money involved. We're talking cash.
Yeah.
I think at one time we weighed 2 duffel bags. They each weighed 35 pounds.
Yeah.
And they were 5s, 10s, very few singles, 20s.
Yeah, 50s and 100s.
Yeah. It took us 2 days to count it using the money machine.
Yeah.
I love how Billy remembers every amount, though. He knows all the exact amount. He's like 368,000 and then 1.3 million. You know every dollar amount. Why is that, Billy?
I got a photogenic memory, whatever it's called. I remember figures. But boss, not to throw my brother from my second son that I never had, El Babo, you don't remember the time he didn't show for the op because he was a little busy? Or you were checking out. You remember Rob when you didn't? Okay.
You keep telling this story and it's untrue.
Where everyone knows that you didn't show up, and where we saw you driving north on 95 when you're supposed to be coming from Pennsylvania, and
actually, I was with Tom at that point during the debriefing, so I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, well that's past, but no, you're a good 99% of the time. You just had you were just as bad as me as getting lost. That's all. But anyways, thank God. Tom
I wasn't really with Tom Hopes.
No, I know you were screwing up, but it's all good, buddy. You know I love you because you got to be. So
had some good time.
We had a great time, except the time you said. Remember we were driving one time. You said, "Billy, we should have took more." What did that mean?
Talking about the popcorn in the vending machine where we stopped to get some lunch.
Yeah, that was it.
A lot of these stories you can read in Billy's book, which is out there called Under Too Long, and you can find it on Amazon, wherever you get your books. Billy, you're talking about putting out a new book. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've been visiting Tom, and I'm trying to do. My publisher finally agreed. I wanted in all seriousness, the PTSD is very important to me because I got hit with it pretty bad. Didn't know what it was. Took me a while to realize what it was until I saw a psychiatrist, and he said, "You need help." Something you said a lot, right, Rob? When we were working?
Yes.
Yeah. But anyways, he looked at it and said, explained the thing to me. But anyways, most of the book's about the PTSD. There's going to be some ops and some of the levity, and because it is that good way. And there's going to be, might draw a map, but alleged 1.3 million. I have no knowledge of that of 1.3 million.
You're gonna have like a little map drawn up, like in the bottom of a Cracker Jack box or something.
Like I'll have Rob draw it in crayons. No, in all seriousness, Tom mentioned something. There was more missing. Tom knows more about missing money than I do. I don't know.
Hey, Billy knows nothing about the 1.3 million, but ask him about the 800,000.
Oh. Oof. I have no idea. Actually, again, going back to Tom, he politically or agency-wise, he said there was money that just got, I think it got appropriated. A word for my.
Well, let me explain how the money came about.
Okay.
After 9/11, we were trying to get money to do the undercover operations. And when I transferred over to the state from the city, the commissioner was a real aggressive guy. He wanted to do something positive here. But there was nothing in the bureaucratic budget to start undercover operations. We actually went to Homeland Security, and they were getting deliveries of curio tables and leather couches. We asked them for money for the undercover operations, and they said, we don't have anything budgeted for that. So we went up to the Bronx. There was a Jewish wholesaler up in the Bronx, sold cigarettes. Yeah. And I asked him, is my credit good for $40,000 in cash? He says, no, but I'll give you $40,000 worth of cigarettes. Do your sting operation selling the cigarettes. And long story short, in 3 years, we had $6 million in profit. Just turning those cigarettes over and over again.
What's that?
When the state short of money, our agency, they grabbed up $1.3 million from our $6 million, and then they said they wanted more. Now the $6 million was a lot, but we were churning that kind of money. Every week we were buying $600,000 worth of cigarettes and turning it over and over again. And that was a real problem. That we had this money, we were outside of their normal procurement assets. We were driving Infinities, pickup trucks, undercover vehicles, and they were buying us Crown Victorias and Copmobiles.
I remember, boss.
Hey, Bill, you got a story for me of a time that you feared for your life?
When I went swimming with El Babo a couple times in the pool. No,
in the Amazon?
No, seriously, I was a little bit buku bots. The time, I didn't realize what happened when it was off got a gun pointed at me, didn't go well, clicked. But even then that didn't bother me because I think I was buku bots by the time.
Would they click the trigger? And
they clicked the trigger.
Fire?
Yeah, and Tom used to ask me all the time, he goes, "Are you okay with this?" Because it was getting very dangerous every time. You didn't know. And I said, "Tom, this shit's easy. My family life, my fucking personal life. I got cousins in and out of jail. You know, I got stuff going on." But probably the only time I got really nervous was when that guy at the biker bar wanted to rip my head off because he thought he was a moron, but he actually was pissed because I was good friends with the owner of the bar, the head of the biker gang, and he said, he got jealous because I got brought into the biker gang very much so because of what I was selling, not that I was a biker. And I remember him saying this, he goes, he could be a fucking cop, and he was a moron, but he was the only one that ever really accused me and that I was a cop. But thank God he ended up wrecking his motorcycle, and I never saw him again. But no, Tom always checked on me. Is you okay? But you know what? The job became my drug. I said that before. But working with these guys, Jeff Hu, El Babo, our guys on the op, they were all Tony. Even the guy Docs, he was a pain in the ass, but he was a good investigator. And again, Tom always had my back. I mean, always. Whatever something went down, or some guys would always blow me in for some reason, for something stupid. He just ignored it. I mean, even when he had boss, you remember that time in Syracuse where we had the big meeting because the other part of the agency was taking in no money, and they wanted to be part of our operation? I was in Syracuse, and it was the audit, RCB or whatever it was called, the audit part of the bureau.
RCB, yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, they were taking in no money, we're taking in millions, and they wanted to be part of our operation. And I don't know what was going on at the level on the other side, whether one of those guys, fuck him, I don't care. He was banging the attorney, I don't know. That he wanted to get in. And you had me speak, and I had the two attorneys next to me, and the commissioner at the time. And you mentioned something, Bill, why don't you speak? Everyone knows you. So I got up, and I said, well, I'm a senior investigator Soldado, and the commissioner goes, I know who you are, not in a good way. And he said, well, why can't you guys get along? I says, because they're fucking ignorant. With the two attorneys next to me, I go, they don't even understand what the difference between a tractor and a trailer. I went on my little Billy the Liquor Guy rampage, and you were looking at me. Paul Rossi was pulling his hair, but I told the truth. They only wanted to get in to be part of the team because of the money.
You got to remember, most commissioners, assistant commissioners, they're there because they're political hacks. They carried the sign that said Cuomo, Pataki,
right,
and they really have no aptitude for pretty much anything as management. They're not managers.
No,
they got the job as gratis for doing their thing in the campaign. That's how the state and government bureaucracies work.
And that's why they have no money. And then, we were making money hand over fist and giving them money, turn it into them, and who knows, whether it did any good. But we got a lot of bad guys off the street. But again, it was us. We had street guys that were all good at what they did, whether it was Brahim with his driving, El Babo with his bullshit. He was Billy Jr., Jeff Hu. We still haven't figured out what the fuck he did. But no, Jeff Hu was Rob.
Well, the other thing, the highest paid people we had were the CIs.
Yes. God bless them.
We were $1 a cart.
I know.
Yeah. And they were sold. One guy sold 500,000 cartons.
Right.
So he sold $500,000. That's unheard of in most law enforcement agencies.
Well, plus, that's the only bitch I got about you, boss. I wanted to get fired. I wanted to go on what do you call it, commission. And you wouldn't let me. I said, the money they were making, you know. But anyways.
But your Arabic wasn't that good.
I know. Now, it all worked out well, but he's here, and he's explained it. I couldn't deal with that higher-up shit. They were all in it. It's all about them. They bitched about us every time, but every time there was a seizure and we handed over millions of dollars, they were on the podium, weren't they, boss?
Always. And the story you were talking about at the press conference, every reporter should know, don't talk to the guys at the podium. The guys at the back of the room with the long hair and the jeans, and don't look like that. Those are the guys you want to get the real story from.
But we kept, I wasn't even invited to those, but even El Babo or Tony, who used to go. And by the way, I always appreciate that when Tony went, because he was out of the mix for a while, and he was driving you guys around the city, and you told Tony, this is all because of you guys, and let Billy know, because that other asshole from Buffalo wouldn't even let me show at the takedowns, where off scene, just anyways. I got a lot of anger today, boss.
Hey, Mr. Stanton, what kind of a characteristic would you be looking at to hire an undercover agent? Was there a specific type that you were looking for?
Well, you have to have a real personality. You have to know how to direct a conversation. You have to know how to pick up mannerisms. You have to read people. You have to listen to a voice and the tone of the voice. You know whether the guy's believing your bullshit and whether he's bullshitting you. Mm-hmm. It's a personality thing. And a lot of people don't have that kind of personality. You got to be free. You got to be a little fearless too. You got to take some chances, but not to go too far. And I think Billy, Bob, most of the guys that really know how to handle things, they know how to read people. That's the main thing. Where you're coming from, your background. They'll ask questions about maybe like a socioeconomic thing. Where were you raised? Utica, New York, an Italian guy.
Yeah.
Ran a bar. He's got some chutzpah. And he's got some street sense, and that's the kind of guy you want.
And how did Billy get on your radar? Like, how did you hear of him?
The complaints. He doesn't respect authority. They have all kinds of things on him. He had one boss up in Albany, he hated his guts. But you look at the two characters. One guy's an action figure, Billy's alive, and this guy was a former cop. His greatest thing was giving summonses.
Yeah.
It's a different thing. Arresting people is different than giving a summons.
Yeah.
And you need that kind of personality.
Well, I got in trouble. He was a real asshole. I had the advantage of having a company car at the time because I was up in Plattsburgh. He hated that. All he worried about was the cars. And he kept hammering me, and you know why he hated me? Because I scored number 1 on a Chiefs test, and he didn't even pass it. And I said no to the job because I wanted to stay on the streets, which kept him in the job because I broke the list. And in fact, the day of 9/11, I was jumping over the desk trying to choke him, which thank God for 9/11 because I probably would have been fired. But even then, some people, I couldn't stand bureaucrats, and that's all, boss. And, sometimes I got out of hand. And then Rob was the same way, but a lot of people liked him because, he had a nicer personality where after a while I told everyone, not the guys on the team, but other guys want to get in, how useless they are. That's it. I couldn't, I was humble for the first couple of years, but I got tired of people telling me, hey, do it this way. What are you going to say? Or when I had meetings with some of the say this. I go, I don't have a script. I said that you go by how the guy goes. You read his body language, and you go down. And I swim good, and I'm undercover, and I know how to find money, or get deals made. That's all. That's my forte. But so,
what was the first mission he put you on? Do you remember?
Yeah, he started the thing about the. He saw I had I had bar business knowledge because I owned a bar.
For the locals that might remember Coach's Corner, you were
I was owner Coach's Corner, Rascals. My buddy who he's got his own issues too, but he's a little. Anyways, he saw that I ran a bar, so he sent me to undercover school, and just starting and the undercover, and either right place, right time with my backup team. I ran into the Jamaican gang, was involved in a lot of drugs, and I think he got the call from, because we were at a bar, which we had no idea was going on, but it just turned out they were big coke dealers, the Softail bar. And they got a hold of, I think they got a hold of you, Tom, and they wanted to know, or the Attorney General, what the fuck is these guys doing? How come they're getting shit out of this bar where we can't even get? They had, like, I think you said, the troopers, the undercovers that tried before, they had 3 of them thrown out. And I think they called you, and from that, it just grew. Bill the liquor guy grew to when I start buying drugs, then other agencies wanted me or wanted our agency. Correct, boss? Something like that, because you had the phone call. I just showed up.
Well, the other thing we didn't have policy and procedures on doing tapes and things like that.
Right.
Most agencies, the whole thing, you have to go through the bureaucracy. And our thing was, that you find a bad guy. The one great thing in New York State is you can tape record. It's a consensual state. In many states, you don't have that ability.
Right.
So our job was like fishing in a hatchery, and then with the tape recording, we could tape record anybody, and we can make cases. State police, FBI, other agencies, they can't react the way we could react because we were a freewheel. We were a rogue outfit.
Yeah, we were.
Reality.
They called us cowboys?
I would say that.
Oh.
That's fair.
I know
But you probably kill a horse. Yeah.
Billy, was there ever a time where you and El Babo had to play good cop, bad cop?
We both played degenerates pretty well. But, I mean, we got screwed up once. When you do a takedown, they parade us on the stage, and I'm the only heavyset white guy except for El Babo. He's 6'6". I'm 6 foot. But we're the only white guys, and I'm not, because the other CIs, different guys, wherever, and nothing against ethnicities, but we just were different. We were older, and I was the old white guy. Anyways, one of the guys didn't make it, and actually El Babo handled that well because I got thrown against a cop. Pulled us from New York City, pulled us out of the truck during the takedown, not knowing that we were undercovers, and he actually ripped my shoulder out. And El Babo just, I was getting pissed, but he goes, "Billy, what's going on?" He goes, "What's going to happen?" I go, "Well, we're going to jail." He goes, "I don't want to go to jail." I said, "Well, I don't have a problem, but you're going to have a problem. No one wants this fat old guy, but you're going to do a lot of boom boom." And he says, he goes, "I don't want to do boom boom." He handled that well, and but we bounced off each other so well. Like we had a saying, like he goes, "Why are you so angry?" When one of us would get angry, like he would get angry because something happened. A lot of times it's with your personal life, but you don't try to bring it. But we had families and shit. You know what I'm saying? And back then he had a few families. No, I'm sorry. No, and anyways, what can I say? I got him out of the back of a state police car for some reason one time, not on the job. Some incidents, but we just it's hard to say. We bounced off each other, and we kept each other laughing all the time. No matter what went down, we end up laughing about it. I'm saying, like we used to have a saying, "What could go wrong?" We're idiots. We're working with idiots. What could go wrong?
El Babo, can you expand on that?
Well, just going to Billy's point, there was a lot of levity, because we were in some situations that got a little crazy. So laughter, levity, and just making sure that we were safe and watching each other's backs. That's what got us through. And real quick, I just want to say to Tom, when all this broke down, it kind of went quick. So I never got a chance to really say anything to him or thank him, because when he took over the agency, he kind of brought us from doing these little piddly local investigations to working multi-state federal type investigations. So I just wanted to thank him because those were the best years of my career in law enforcement.
You're right, bud.
You upstate guys were the action figures. I love you guys, city guys, but they just couldn't handle the kind of work you guys were doing. The hours you guys were putting in. You may have been milking the overtime a little bit, but you really did work a whole lot. And I needed some rednecks. I needed some guys who knew how to smoke and play the role of country boys down in Virginia.
Yeah.
The city guys, the Italians with suede shoes, that wasn't going to work. You guys with persona, the natural. You know how to cut grass. You talk about gingham dresses.
Yeah. Oh, we don't whittle though.
You were pressed by elevators. I always got a kick out of that.
Yeah. We had, again, it was, El Babo was born with it. I was fortunate that I was always must be I'm a Gemini. You know, like I said, and I had, you know, and again, thank you for some of the idiots I had to work with, like that Fed, that ATF guy when I was buying guns from the Sunshine there, and went from buying a pistol to ask her how many machine guns you can get me. And I told you, boss, I can't work with him, but you said just give it. And of course, we left him on the fucking streets of Brooklyn somewhere. I don't know, but again,
do you remember the state police sent down to Virginia some guys, and they had the New York State plates, Crown Victorias with antennas on the back. And they were the undercovers to follow the bad guys back north again. I know. And I think I said to you, did you ever play touch football? Yeah. With the guy who can't pass the ball, right. You always send him deep. I told him, send the state police deep down south. I know. We used to. If we were bad guys from north, they wouldn't be near us. Or any other guys in the agency that were useless to try to be nice. If we're in Virginia, we put them in Maryland once they came over the bridge to follow them to the city. You know, so that, no, I mean, we tried to accommodate people, but when it get down to the nitty gritty shit, it was always the main team of us guys from Randy, Chad. You know, I want to give because I feel bad in the first book, the publisher cut a lot of shit out, and those guys kept the team going. Everyone was good at what they did, and they didn't really give a shit about the glory. They wanted to get the bad guys. Yeah, you know, because we were never mentioned. You know, they were just, and you told me about the time I gave more state police investigators their senior rank because of shit that happened, and I couldn't even get a sticker from them when I wanted the job done. And how many? Go ahead. Well, they had an award ceremony up in Troy, New York, of one division of the state police, and they had dropped out of the Virginia operations because they felt it was too dangerous and didn't have liability coverage. So we go up to this award meeting, and I think 5 of the 7 awards were for the operations in Virginia that they didn't really do anything with. But because we got headlines on that, I didn't even get a mention. I felt like I got screwed. I didn't even get kissed, boss. You know, it was like unbelievable. I said, and I thought, no, you know, again, fortunate the guys I worked with, you know, other than locally, great guys. You know, everyone agency has their guys. So I mean, some of the state police I worked with, other than some of those things, and they are excellent. You know, they had your back, and Rob's done it too up in our area where we worked around the upstate New York, the Syracuse area. Great guys, great investigators. They work with you hand in hand, but they didn't have some issues. You know, like we got them in ours. You're not trained for undercover. No, they are not. To some extent, the academy takes that personality out of them. That they have to adapt to a personality of a state trooper, purple tie. Yeah, and it doesn't mesh with undercover operations. No, you're right, because you hit the nail right on the head. You never would have made it in the state police, Billy. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry? You never would have made it in the state police. No, the second day. First of all, I didn't make the weight limit by far. And anyways, I went for the state police once when I was down. I was weighed 219 pounds, and I was much younger and well built. They said I had too much body fat. I was 6 foot, 219. I could handle myself, and they said, no, you're too heavy. So anyways, but it's all different. It worked out well for my thing, but I remember the time I worked with one in state, I had to go in a bar, and it was a state police guy, just different, and there's one, and we're in the bar, and they're all smoking when you can't smoke, and first thing he said, he goes, it's illegal to smoke in the bar, and I go, we're done, we got to go. So, but again, you hit the nail on the head. The State Police Academy took out whatever personality they had, you know, but again, the guys I worked when I was doing details were the best, especially on the Canadian border. Again, more rednecks, you know, more northern guys they were down to earth. They were easy to work with. So.
Nice. You can check out this book on Amazon or pretty much wherever you get your books. You know some of the places that you can buy.
Yeah, but it's on Amazon. But I sell them out of the trunk of my car. You do. Know. And I'm gonna.
He'll be set up at Walmart parking lot in about 10 minutes from now. So if you want to go meet him in Walmart parking lot, you can get a book.
Guys, the first I met him with my cousins at Utica Coffee because he was your fucking bodyguards right off. He picked it up. You know. Anyways, he walks out, and there I am. I'm selling the book. right out front of Utica Coffee out of my car, and some to strangers, and he just started laughing. I'd go, "Hey, how you doing?" He said, "Oh yeah." I said, "Hey, where'd you get your coffee?" Because I could talk to anybody. And they said, "Oh," I said, "Oh, no." I go, "How is it?" I said, "Oh, by the way, I just left there." I said, "Oh, hey, you like to read?" And 90% of people say yes, especially yes. I address females 90% of the time. That's just the way it is. And between my cousin Frank, "You're going to buy a book, aren't you?" You know, or me with my nicer thing, or even El Babo. We just, wherever we go to bars, he's already got us hooked up at some bar up on the hill. We're going to do another book signing. But it's just easy for me to sell books. But yes, we're going to leave some here, by the way, too. But yes, I have them. I got my Gmail out there. You could, willie6868uc@gmail.com. I sign them. I drive a 50-mile radius to sell a book.
Yeah. Well, I was laughing at you that day at Utica Coffee because it looked like you had some kind of fencing operation going on in the back of your trunk.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like to me. It looked really shady, Billy.
It did. I know. I had the books lined up underneath, and I said, "Oh, you want shoes? You want scarves?" "No."
You want a watch?
What?
Yeah.
Well, Tom goes, "What the fuck is this shit?"
I got knockoff perfume here.
I know. I had I took things the extra mile. I had a buddy of mine that owned a bar, so a lot of times I couldn't get the whiskey or the booze they wanted through the agency, so I start getting my own stuff. And then I had some contacts in East Utica where I bring Gucci purses, shoes. I bring this stuff, but he was okay with it. But it was like, if they don't want this, then I start. You start selling shit in the bar. They looked at me as the guy that's got everything, and then sooner or later I approach them with the drugs. And usually 9 out of 10 times it worked out.
Yeah.
So,
do you three get together at any moment? Do you guys get together for a barbecue or whatever?
No, I do. I'm at Tom's a lot. I bring my friends up there. He loves my cousins. My cousin Frank, my cousin Joe.
Yeah.
And he hits us first every time we drive up. He goes, "So who'd you kill?" That's what he says. Where are the bodies buried? But I stay at Tom's house a lot, or I visit, and my cousins, we take a trip. But he goes, lately every time I call him, because I said, "Hey," he goes, "No, we're not going to be here." So,
I can't deal with you today.
I'm on a mountaintop in Pennsylvania. I'm kind of secluded here. Rob, I haven't seen since 10 years now, 11 years.
Well, boss, remember the time we brought Jeff? Jeff who? He worked for 20 years, and you go, "You work for me?" I go, "He did." And you go, "Billy, did he work for us?" I go, "Yes, he did. He did work, but Jeff had that low profile, very low profile. In fact, Rob's the one who put a fucking shoe on his desk when we were doing listening to their phones, and because we're working late, and it's like we work a midnight to 8 shift. And Jeff got up once to go to the bathroom, and Rob put a big shoe on his desk. He goes, "The shoe does more fucking work than you." So, I mean, that was how Jeff Who got his name, or you asked Jeff Who. And also, when they had the Internal Affairs was looking at us, and they listened to all the tapes about the missing money, and Rob was my partner, as you can see. Jeff was a clone of me, a little shorter, about the same size. And I went into the Internal Affairs or Inspector General's office, and they go, when I said, "Now, Rob got some family issues, so he had to leave for a while." Now, they're watching tapes of Rob, and then they're watching tapes of Jeff. And they said, when I said, "Well, no, Rob had to leave for some family problems or some, stuff, kids being sick or something." And they go, "Well, Jeff who?" And I said, "Oh, my fucking God, you guys are idiots." I said, "Jeff is 5'10", going to about 300. Rob is 6'3", 6'4", goes about 190, $180. And I'm saying, that's when I knew they were idiots. You know what I'm saying? They portrayed themselves as idiots.
Awesome. Billy, maybe when you get this new book up and rolling, we'll get these guys up here for a book signing.
Well, yeah, Rob, for all the money Tom's got, he should fell helicopter in off the mountain.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying anything, but he's Rob, I don't know. Where are you driving to, buddy? By the way.
I'm on my way back home now. Long day at work.
The range is 12 miles from your house. You've been driving for an hour.
Let's not go there. Let's just forget about this.
All right. Hey, you're getting off camera. Also, hey, buddy, it is good to see you. Hey, by the way,
Yes.
The ladies appreciate that picture you sent with the shirt.
All right, just make sure that doesn't get circulated.
No, it did. They did. I sent it. You know the Wednesday morning club that I do with the in fact, the ladies got the T-shirts. I sent it to the whole Wednesday morning club. 140 women. They loved it. The one where you got the shirt on and just nothing else. Oh, I'm killing.
Boys, right?
It was okay, buddy.
It was good seeing you, sir.
Oh,
Well,
Take care.
Yes,
sir.
Drive carefully, boy.
yeah. Thank you, Rob, for showing up. I know it does mean a lot to me, buddy. I break your balls a lot. You break mine. So good to see you, bud.
Really, it was good seeing you. Disruption Network. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Good to see you, El Babo. And I always say, it's tough being your friend.
Yeah.
Because you got to break their balls, right?
Oh, yeah, you saw
If
me.
you weren't breaking balls, then you probably don't like that person.
No, I know. There's him, Jeff Hoof, and other people have seen us together.
Yeah.
Some of my friends I've made acquaintances with lately, whether we're in a bar, we run into somebody. When us three are together, and they just see what a connection. I mean, Bumper did, and just people that are one of the nicknames of one of our big fans. Mm-hmm. And she says, wow, you guys are amazing. But again, can you imagine me speaking to 120 high society women at the Wednesday morning club? But they were great.
But I've seen you do it.
Yeah, yeah.
You've done book clubs and signings, and I've been there, and I've witnessed you get up in front of people and tell your story and sign books, and it's amazing what you do, and your story is amazing. So,
well,
I'm interested seeing this second book come out, Billy.
You got it, bud. And,
yeah.
We'll hope we're pushing.
Yeah.
We're pushing. So this one's going to be good, and I'll say about the PTSD. Mm-hmm. And that is important to me. That's the one thing I don't break balls on, because it nearly killed me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
Billy, does the second book come with crayons?
yeah, my publisher stole me, and I called them because I wanted to get rid of them, but I found I got a 7-year contract with them because I've been, I do sell more books than them on, because I'm all over up and down the East Coast, you know what I'm saying? And but no, I'm going to do the crayon version because for Rob always wanted me to do a book in crayons. He always teased me about
with
that.
the sharpener on the side of the book, right, for the crayons.
And Rob always great. When we're together, he goes, how the fuck can you write a book? Because I go, it's called a ghostwriter, moron.
I was gonna say, the man could barely read English, so I was amazed that he was able to write a book.
You guys, thank you so much for taking the time with us today. I know this is something Billy's wanting to do for a while, and maybe we could get together and do this again somewhere down the road. Awesome.
That's good.
Thank you.
You guys, the order of the day today, folks, is check out Under Too Long. It's a book by my guest, Billy the Liquor Guy. You can find it on Amazon or wherever you get your books, or you can find them in the parking lot of like some random grocery store. He'll probably sell them to you out of the back of his trunk. He's good like that. So is there a parking lot that they could catch you anytime soon?
Well, right now, I'm going to open the trunk.
You're going to open the trunk right here on James Clemention Street?
No, next time I go to, I'll sell Barnes & Noble, but, I'll give you, I'll call you, you tell me where I'll be.
Okay.
And I'll have people show up. But, Tom, Frank said to say we'll be seeing you soon.
Do it. I want to see Frank.
Well, I know you do. Jesus Christ.
Forward to seeing you, Tom.
All right, boss.
Awesome,
Later.
guys. Thank you so much for taking the time with us, and you guys have yourself a good day.
You also take care now.
Later, guys.
Stop the United Auto Sales. It's never hard to find a vehicle here. The lot is always loaded with cars, trucks, SUVs. Just take a look. I'll bet we have it, and if we don't, we'll buy it for you. United Auto Sales on Commercial Drive in Yorkville, where it's always easy to do business.